Hey everyone, we're back for the second phase of building multiple dependent drop-down boxes. Recommend you watch the previous video because we're going to kind of jump right into the continuation. In other words, it's like we're on the second chapter, and if you haven't read the first chapter, you don't understand what's going on in the second chapter. But regardless, let me go from where we're at. We built these 4 drop-down boxes where if I pick a title of a particular company, we also built in some custom conditional formatting, but it lists all the executives who held that title. And then over here, it lists all the years that that executive held that title. And then we built in growth. What was the growth during that particular year that that executive held that title? And we built in that conditional formatting to let us know that all the items don't match up. So now we know that, because I know this says VP here, but if this was a person's name, you wouldn't know if they were CFO or not. So the idea behind the conditional formatting here tells you, hey, you need to pick something else. And we go through that process. So the whole point in the previous video was to build a procedure or a process that makes it expandable and easier to manage. And so we're on the second phase of that. We built the first phase, and now we're going to add to it. And we're going to start here, as we did before, with the executive table. We have this table here with executives and the people who served in those positions, and we're going to add these 2 other titles into this table. Then we're going to go to another table, and we're going to put in the executives and the years that they served. Then we're going to go to another tables or set of tables, and these are the years that those executives served and the growth that they had. And we're going to go through the same process we did before, but we're just going to add that to, and we don't have to do all the preliminary work, which then makes the previous process, in a sense, pay for itself. Because my reason for doing this is I'm believing that a lot of data isn't static. And so when we want to add to it and expand it, we want to put it in a way that makes it easy and we don't have makes it cumbersome, because the larger this data set gets, the more cumbersome it does to manage on a worksheet or in a workbook. So without further yakking, let's go ahead and get at it. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to add more titles into the title drop down here. We have CEO to VP, CFO, Chairman, and COO. So what's that? 6 of those. So we want to add 2 more in that. And this is what I like about tables. We're going to go over to our table, and here's our 2 executives. You might have got this in email. You might have gotten it on another worksheet. However you got it, this is the cool thing. You have it here in this format. Even though it's the same color, they're not part of each other. Here's the table here. The name of that table is executive table. Over here, notice the table menu goes away. But the nice thing about tables is we can just take this data and bring it over and then just drop it in next door, and it automatically adopts it as part of the table. I can click here. We can click up on table design. See, it says you're in my table. Now here's the cool part of the automation part. We can come back over to our title drop down, click on here, and there are our new titles down there at the bottom. I choose that and I come over here. There's the people that served in that title, but we don't have the years that that particular title served, that particular person, or the growth. So that's what we're going to be adding in. We're going to be adding those in. We're going to be doing that with Power Query. So let's go over to our years to grow. We'll go into here, go to query, and we're going to edit our query. So here's all the tables we brought in previously, and we merged them or appended them into one large table. And then here's all the years that we brought in, and we appended them into one larger table that we extracted data out of. We're going to do the same thing with the new data. And I say new data because over here it says new source. We're going to click on that, choose File, Excel, Workbook. And we're going to choose a new workbook, and here's the workbook with the titles in it, and we're going to import those. Okay, here's our tables. We're going to select more than one. This down here is the worksheet name, and then we're going to click OK. All right, down here are our new tables that we just brought in. They have to be also transformed from a pivot table type or pivot type table into a columnar database. So we selected all the columns, went to transform, choose unpivot columns, and we'll do that for the CTO as well. choose all the columns, unpivot, and now we're ready to append them into our larger query. I'm going to go over there, and then over here, see the little gearbox? That means that I can just click on this and it's going to open up that wizard for us. Okay, so here's the wizard. I'm going to come down and choose my 2 new tables, bring them in, and just click OK. Now they've been appended. They're down here somewhere. There they are, CTO and DEI. We're going to go back into our worksheet because I want to show you this one step at a time. We're going to close and load. Now actually, if you did what I just did and you don't want those new tables into your worksheet because it's actually redundant because they're in the larger query, you can simply just see over here, it tells you how many rows were loaded. You can just select the tables and then delete them. Watch what happens over here. It just changes them to connection only, so you're not deleting the data. Okay. If we go over to exec to years, we stopped here previously, and now here's our CTO, and here's our DEI, and they're in alphabetical order. That's why they're not at the bottom, and here's our years of service. So now when we go to our drop down, we can go to the CTO, CTO3, and then what happens is that here are our drop downs. So now we've got 3 sets of data that work together. We just simply need the growth to years. And so that's going to be our next step, is we're going to bring growth to years. Go into our editor. I'm going to move these up here so they're all grouped together. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get new data again. So under new source, from file, Excel workbook, we're going to choose the tables and we're going to bring them in. We're going to select more than one. In fact, we're going to select them all except for the worksheet. Oh. Got them all. Here's a preview. Now notice also, see the years are off to the left. That means they're in text. So beware of that, because if you get an error later, it's probably because we forgot to convert these to text or to numeric. Click OK. Evaluates them. All right, so I'm going to move these tables, or I'm going to move actually this years to growth append query right down here between the two. And the reason for that is so I know which ones that I need to work on. And so if I click on this one, you can see that it's still in the pivot form, and I need to bring those out of the pivot form. See that this one is in the pivot form or unpivot form. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to do each one of these rather quickly. So I'm going to do these and I'll catch up to you in just a second. Okay, so now we've got them all unpivoted or columnar fashion. Take a look at the attributes column heading here. Notice where the year is. It's off to the left. It typically means it's text. When we put it into our append query, years to growth, it will go in as text, so you have mixed reference. So you have to go ahead and change it there again. Also, when you do the append, I mentioned this before, the columns have to be the same name. So if I change just one of these, when I append it, if I change this to years and this to growth and I leave the rest of attributes and value, it will assume that that's a new column and then place it over here. So just be careful of that. In this particular sample, I just leave these as is just to keep simplicity. So we're going to go ahead and append that. I'm going to click on years to growth, come over and click on the little gear next to the source. It's going to bring up that wizard. And then I'm going to go ahead and select the new tables, 1985 on down to 2020. Now be careful, I mentioned this before, that there's no duplicates. It does not warn you if you have duplicate names. It just puts the data in. And if you don't see it here, then you'll notice it when you get your data results back in. Why are there duplicates? And then you have to go back and find out where you did the duplication. So I'm going to click Add and OK. Then, remember I mentioned this could be text over here. Notice they're all off to the left. Let's go ahead and click and choose whole number. Let's make sure that, now I'm going to cancel here because this brought up a good point. It says insert a step. What happened here is that I have a change type here already, but I clicked on a step before that, so it's showing how it looked before I changed type. So if I click on change type, watch what happens. It changes it back, but there is a mixed reference in there, so go ahead and do it anyway. I recommend whenever you have mixed references like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our worksheet. It's going to update this pen query, and we're going to tell it not to bring these in this time. So I'm going to choose File, Close and Load To. And I'm going to choose only create connection with the new tables. Now watch what happens here in the years of growth. We were here, and as the queries requery, there's our new data already there for us. Now the cool part is, all we need to do is go into our drop downs and we're all set to go. Now we have the right data. So now we have DEI and CTO. We have our conditional formatting built in. And without any other work than we just did, everything functions just fine. And that's the nice thing about the process that we built, is that it makes it easy to update and manage. And that was the whole point of that. So, and then down here, these are the formulas we use to bring the data in. Now the first two are utilizing a table. So we have the indirect function in front of it, in front of the request. Then over here, we just have regular X lookups, and we have the pound sign because we use the filter function to get the data, and it's a spill formula. So we have to tell it to go ahead and spill the results so it'll show up in the drop down. Now to get the conditional formatting, all we did is take this right here and just wrap it in a count if statement. And we said equal to 0. So we said count how many results we get back from this drop down. So for example, when I change this to president, it counts how many results I got back, and it should be 0 because there should be no DEIs in the president list. When it finds 0, it says it formats it in such a way that we know we need to change. Now it says it's not 0, so on and so forth. And that's one of the neat things about that particular method. All right, well, that's it, guys. Please like, subscribe, leave me a comment on with your questions about how I did things, how you think I could do it better, and maybe something that you'd like to see in the future that I would love to be able to demonstrate for you. Until then, we'll see you next time.